It is extremely disappointing to me that the Congress, before taking the August recess, failed to act on some of the most urgent measures in the field of national security. The extension of selective service is an example. Also, because of the tardiness in getting around to the defense budget, the Congress left us in a very clouded situation. Clouded as far as it left us to guess about the amounts we may spend and about the size of the military forces we may maintain. It left us uncertain about our authority to pay certain allowances due to families of many servicemen in lower ranks, and about the authority to authorize the combat zone tax exclusion for servicemen in Vietnam. I assure you that rather than permit suffering by our service personnel and their families, I am seeing to it that they continue to receive their full allowances and their tax benefits.
The President, for the past 2.5 years, has been misreading the economy by following what really amounts to nothing more or less, in my judgment, of tinker toy programs. And the last weekend at Camp David, he finally, I think, understood the politics of what has happened in connection with the mismanagement of the economy, has made these moves. It's that simple. We were told just 6 weeks ago, and his Secretary of the Treasury was directed to state that under no circumstances would there be a price-wage freeze, price-wage controls, or a tax cut. What's happened? Good question. Well, I think what's happened is clear. It's politics. I think the President realizes that should have done this a long time ago. And we have, on my side at least, I personally, who has never hesitated to support the defense of the President on his defense posture and his defense and foreign policy efforts, I think he just failed to heed constructive suggestions.
I would like to add one more first to it, that the Honorable Sharkey be the first mayor of the first city of Texas to implement some sort of an earnings tax to help broaden the base of our city support. What an honor that would be someday to have that on your stone.
Now, therefore, be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Dallas, Section 1, that this council does here and now go on record as censuring Councilman Jesse Price or any other council member who would advocate the disobedience to the laws of the United States and of this state, and calls upon all of the citizens of this community to obey the laws, even some of which are not to their liking, but that for the overall good of law and order in this community, this state, and this nation, law must be preserved, and any attack upon the laws must be made through the orderly processes of the courts. Section 2, that this council is extremely concerned that the young people of this community should be advised not to obey the laws by any one of its members, and it does here and now go on record as advising all of the young people, as well as all of the adults of the community, that the laws must be obeyed if the democratic process is to be effective. Section 3, that this resolution shall take effect immediately from and after its passage in accordance with the provisions of the Charter of the City of Dallas, and it is accordingly so resolved. Since this proposed resolution had directly to pertain to the statements alleged to have been made by Mr. Price, it was requested by members of the council to see the film and transcript of those alleged remarks.
The conduct of this investigation in Houston last week has resulted in an unjust and unfair attack on Lieutenant Governor Ben Barnes. Therefore, I'm going before the SEC today under oath and without any protection of immunity whatsoever, and will enter into the record the following statement. It has been alleged that I paid Lieutenant Governor Ben Barnes in some undisclosed manner an unknown amount of money for helping with the passage of the so-called bank bills. This simply is not true. I have never paid nor been requested to pay cash or any other thing of value to Ben Barnes or any other member of the legislature or state official for the passage of this bill or any other legislation. I certainly never had any such discussion with Lieutenant Governor Ben Barnes. The record, when fully examined, will bear this out. Any other conclusion by anyone is a complete and total falsehood.
And I think the least you can do is sit down and publicly say where you stand. Is that asking too much of you? Is that asking too much of you, Ms. Rimmer? Whether you're for it or against it doesn't matter if you'll just make the stand.
Let me interrupt you a minute. I'm going to advise the City Council of the City of Fort Worth that, as its city attorney, that the City Council of the City of Fort Worth has no policy, no wisdom, no economics, no expediency in which they are involved with the administration and the policy of the Fort Worth Independent School District. The citizens of this community elected the Fort Worth Independent School District Board to perform their functions, and they're performing them. There is also a suit pending in the federal court, the United States District Court for the Northern District of Texas. And neither this city council, nor any member of it, nor the city attorney, nor any one of his assistants is going to comment on that pending litigation or become involved in it. It's in a different forum. It's not a matter before the city council. And I'm just advising this council that they just have to place their trust and confidence both in the United States District Court for the Northern District of Texas and in the Fort Worth Independent School District Board of Trustees, and that's just about the size of it.